everybody, Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Valentine's Day, Friday, February the 14th. Race number 4 at the Grace Race Place, Santa Anita. Let's throw up the field, 1 mile on the turf. Optional claiming race for Cal-bred 3-year-old fillies. No better way to celebrate Valentine's Day, Mike Beer, than to download those free Formulator past performances. Access them, handicap along with us. You can get them on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. And handicap this nice race, kicking off a 50-cent late pick 5. She's devoted 5-2 morning line favorite. Dynamic kick in her debut.
She ran well first time out. I think more than anything else, just because she overcame some trouble at the start, going that short of a distance. We'll see if she can stretch out.
Now she's going to have to stretch out 2.5 furlongs. Let's see where Timeform US has the 4. She's devoted on their pace projector. They have her near the tail end of the field. They're expecting a fast pace in here. I'm not willing to go that far. I think it'll be fair. I'm not sure if it will be fast. The 3 Baby Boo stretching out off a victory on dirt. Expected to make the front. I won't argue with that.
Yeah, I can see that horse on the lead. There are plenty of horses in here who want to be forward, but I don't know. I didn't see a bunch of burners in here. We'll see how fast they go.
A couple horses coming out of the $200,000 California Cup Oaks on January the 18th. They were led home by third place finisher, the number 1 Warriors Moon. We're going to watch that race right now. I thought Warriors Moon got a pretty good trip from post 12. Didn't lose too much ground. We see him on the outside, red sleeves, white cap. Splitting horses. Ran just fine. I thought there were a couple of troubled horses behind her.
I mean, she ultimately, she got a really good ride from post 12, landed a good spot, had her shot at it, wasn't good enough. A couple of the horses behind her, I guess you're sort of maybe mostly referring to California Kook, who I guess a little bit of traffic in the upper stretch. I thought she finished pretty well with some interest, just missed third in there. We'll see. Warriors Moon, I thought ran okay in there. I thought her other 2 turf races back in August and October, I thought she ran really well in those races.
Her tactical speed is very important in a race like this. She can adapt to any kind of pace scenario, but don't be fooled by post 12. She got a very nice trip. She was never really worse than 2 paths off the rail at any point turning into the stretch. She ran just fine. Only a 64 Beyer speed figure. I guess she's going to be bet switching to Pratt. 3-1 on the morning line. Navy Queen is the 2 coming in from Turf Paradise. Ran a little stakes race there. Well beaten by a runaway winner. Blinkers off. 3 back at Del Mar. I guess that was a decent enough performance, although I couldn't fault the trip.
No, it just wasn't good enough in that race. I guess going back to the pace projector, though, maybe this is a horse who will show speed again. Went wire to wire when she broke her maiden at this track back in October of last year. So maybe she'll come out of there running in here. I don't love her last race, and I didn't love that race at Del Mar either.
Baby Boo, a pace pressing winner on the dirt last time out, wheeled back a week later, worked a bullet 5 furlongs at Los Alamitos, back here 2 weeks after that. Mike Harrington, not great numbers going dirt to turf, 0 for 20 over the past 5 years. It's rather limited data. What do you think of this pedigree?
Yeah, I mean, the pedigree didn't do a lot for me with the surface switch, and also you add in the stretch out. I mean, maybe she'll make the lead in here and be tough, but I couldn't make a case for this horse.
She's devoted, had some nice workouts leading up to her career debut. She was bet down to 8-5 in that 5.5 furlong turf sprint. She did not break it all, then she had to come from last. They turn into the stretch, and She's Devoted still has a ton of work to do. She just swung to the far outside. She's going to come with a run, and she just gets up with a great bob under Joel Rosario.
Man, it doesn't even look like she even gets by this horse who's right in front of her right now, but she does catch the right bob and get up. If you're going back and watching the replay, and she does finish well in here, Dan, but you want to look at the start of this race because the horse to her outside just came over, nailed her from the outside, bumped her back to last. So for her to overcome that and still win, it suggests she has some talent.
Now, she ran to her backing that day, and now it's all about how will she handle tougher horses and stretching out in distance. She's getting bet off of that race.
Absolutely.
The 5 is almost a factor. Now, she ran in the Cal Cup Oaks last time out. She finished 8th. I don't know. I thought she was kind of down inside. I think there was a little bit of traffic in front of her. Maybe the trouble line sort of overemphasizes the trouble in that race, but all in all, I think if you want to give a horse a mulligan out of that race and go back to her prior turf race, which I liked a lot, it's almost a factor.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think it's hard to tell when you go back and watch the Cal Cup Oaks because she did have a bit of a trip in there. The first spot of trouble I thought came on the second turn. Pratt tried to split horses there. He went to a drive. She didn't get through and steadied back, and then she was down on the rail on the stretch. I don't know, she didn't run great. I don't want to say she ran great in there, but she had a little bit of a trip. And like you, I thought her maiden win on turf was actually pretty good. I thought she ran well in that race and she might get a better trip this time.
And that race was against Open Maidens. She's going to be back in against Calbreds in this spot. Teacher's Big Dream won her career debut on dirt, going 2 turns against Open Maiden claimers, then paired up by her tops in both of her races on turf, including this 3rd place finish on January the 11th. We're going to see Teacher's Big Dream take a look at it in the yellow blinkers. And it's kind of one-paced in the stretch. I thought it was a fine performance for Teacher's Big Dream, who's facing State Bred company for the first time, but she's going to have to do better.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, she had a real look at this race. You're going to see her get out finished from behind here for a second. I don't like that. I just felt like she was a horse, so even though she's in with Calbreds, now is going to have to improve.
California Kook, we saw her split rivals in the stretch to finish 4th in the Cal Cup Oaks. While the horse down on the rail, Warrior's Moon, was able to save some ground, she was kind of 3 wide on both turns, and then she stayed in wisely. Drayden Van Dyke realized if she went widest, she wasn't going to get anything, and she did split some horses, went through a tight spot, finished a decent 4th. If Timeform US is right with the pace scenario, it works maybe best for this one.
Maybe it does. And she really did improve last time. She was, never a real threat in that race. There was never any point in the race where you felt like she was going to win. But she did finish pretty gamely. It was significant improvement off of her other turf race. But she was 43-1 in that race. She's going to be a much shorter price.
That was the exact point I was just going to make. Sassy Serb completes this field gate to wire last time out to win her maiden. Let's watch that race right now. Sassy Serb was able to make the front. I thought she carved out a legitimate pace. Yeah. I also think she probably caught the right field. And remember that Timeform US pace projector. Sassy Serb not expected to make the lead in here. We will see if she can rate and finish. But this at least was a step in the right direction.
I mean, listen, she's run pretty well in all 4 of her turf starts, and it does feel like she's improving with every race. This obviously the best one yet. It's a very easy win. If she backs it up, she's tough in this race. Going back to her first 2 turf starts, then I thought Warrior's Moon ran better than she did in both of those races, but maybe this is the horse, maybe she's the now horse.
Well, maybe she's the upside horse. You're right. Warrior's Moon, though, she's going to have to face her again, and Warrior's Moon coming out of the Cal Cup Oaks. Let's take a look at our top pick to kick off the 50-cent Pick 5 on Valentine's Day at the Great Race Place. I like California Kook. I think that the pace will be at least fair for her. Yeah. I think she's getting a little bit better. I still think she's a little bit green. Maybe she can come widest and fastest and run these down. You like Always a Factor. A little sneaky trip last time out, and she's going to be a price, 8-1 on the morning line.
That's mostly why I went for her. I did like her turf debut. Maybe enough of an excuse last time to give her one more chance. If you want the upside horses, the now horses, they're probably on the outside.
5147 for Mike, 7814 for me. Race 4 at Santa Anita on Friday. Your DRF race of the day is an approximate post time of 2:29 Pacific. Best of luck.